Yes, it's your boy DJ Akademiks. I'm here. I'm doing another podcast. I wasn't going to do a podcast, but looks like everybody wants me to speak on this Trinidad James situation. So if you haven't heard, Trinidad James went to New York, performed, and made some very controversial statements, or controversial in a lot of people's mind. He said in front of a New York audience filled with hipsters and skateboarders, it seems, he said, the South runs New York. He said Atlanta specifically runs New York, and he says all the hot rappers from New York might as well be from Atlanta. He then goes on to put an open challenge out there by saying, if you got a problem with what I'm saying, well, do something. So, obviously, we know the type of tone that gives off, and also we know the type of atmosphere that's going on in hip-hop right now. Rappers right now, they're really scared to respond, especially if they're called out. If they're not called out by name, everyone just kind of ducks down and be like, well, I'm cool with him, so he's not talking about me. So nobody really responded. However, we did have one person to respond, and he definitely took offense with what Trinidad James said. Who was it? We all know who it is. It's my man, Mano. Mano came out, and he got on Twitter, and Mano wasn't having it. If you guys don't know who Mano is, he's a New York rapper. He also had a song called What Happened to My City a few weeks ago, so it was only right for him to continue the publicity of that song by defending his city when Trinidad James made those comments. So he got on Twitter. He then threatened Trinidad James saying, hey man, when I see you, I'm going to brush your teeth, I'm going to take you to the dentist, and you need to be disciplined. So he's obviously threatening Trinidad James, and Trinidad James seemed then shocked why he was getting all this backlash for what he said, but other rappers haven't really spoke up about it, so it really just seems like an issue between Trinidad James and Mano. However, a lot of people have been talking, it's been the big talk since Control dropped by Kendrick Lamar. A lot of people have been saying, hey, New York is down, what's going on with New York? Why is New York following the South? Why is there more Southern artists being played in New York than New York artists? Why have they been dominating the clubs and the radio? Well, listen, I really don't subscribe to this nigga shit. This whole hip-hop circle jerk that's going on, I absolutely hate it. Most of these niggas in hip-hop nowadays are what I call old heads. You don't understand what I'm saying? Niggas who are just stuck on this old school mentality of what music is and what the music arena is, that they're unwilling to accept the current climate of what's going on. What do I mean? We have the rappers, or New York rappers, you know what they say when you ask them, why aren't you popping and you're in New York? Why aren't you being supported? You know what they say? They say the radio stations don't want to support us. They make it seem like the radio station has a problem with them, so the radio station doesn't want to support them. You ask the radio stations, why don't you play New York rappers? Why are you playing a lot of Southern artists? You know what the radio station people say? They're going to say, New York people aren't making good enough music. How ridiculous is that? So on one hand, we have the rappers saying the radio stations aren't supporting us. We have the radio stations saying the rappers aren't making good enough music. And each group is just looking around like, hey, blame them. No, blame them. And then we have the fans in the middle that are just goddamn confused. So, good thing I'm here. I'm here to make sense of this all and hopefully to break this down for you guys. The real truth of the matter is that it's not the radio station's fault. It's not the rappers' fault, to be honest, because New York rappers are making good music. It's really no one's fault, but it's a different or a changing climate where the radio station doesn't dictate who's hot out there really anymore. It's really the fans. And it's always been the fans, but it's now the fans, not through their support of the radio, it's their support through the internet. If you look at what's going on, radio isn't as influential as it used to be. This is not the 90s or the early 2000s where a song was being programmed at least a couple times a day, or it was being spun by one or two mix show DJs. You could get a rapper on. Radio isn't as influential. Why isn't it as influential? Because the draw for radio is less. This is simple. This is clear. Everyone, this is something you should know. Nowadays, it's all about the internet. The media, the music media, is segmented by the internet. So before, if you wanted to listen to music, you wanted to listen to analysis of music, maybe a morning show, maybe even a DJ talk about music, most times you're tuning into your radio, your local radio station. You're also tuning into MTV, maybe BET, just to hear what's going on within music. It's completely changed. Welcome to 2013, going into 2014, y'all. That's no longer the case anymore. If you look at what's going on, if you want to listen to music, the whole market is segmented. You don't have to listen to Hot 97 or Power 105 if you just want to listen to music and you're in the New York area. You can hop on the internet, get on SoundCloud, get on Spotify, get on Pandora. You could use many of the downloading sites. You could use many different avenues to listen to what you want to listen to. You could also get on YouTube. So the influence that radio stations have are actually less. Another thing, what people don't really realize is that this whole regional, I need regional support before I make it big, completely bullshit. You don't need it. What's going on now is that the internet is really breaking down all these regional barriers. You can hear somebody from the Midwest or you can hear somebody from Atlanta as quickly as they hear. Before, you would have a song that was buzzing possibly in New York or maybe the West Coast or Atlanta for a couple of months before it gets to another region. So that song would have to work that market and would have to then get out of that region and then go a little bit national. Now, with the internet, those regional boundaries are done. So all that complaining about, I'm not getting that regional support, if you're still thinking like that, that's probably the reason why you are where you are. Look what's going on now. If you really want to see who came up or how people came up, A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky didn't come up because Hot 97 and Power 105 put him on or played his record consistently. He came up off the internet. The internet really was going out, and it wasn't even mostly just people from New York on the internet. It was people from all over the world going out on the internet saying, I want to hear what this kid got to say. Then afterwards, the radio stations picked up. So we have to realize, or we have to see where music's really going. So the whole thing about, hey, rappers make good music, and the radios, and then the rappers saying, how about you guys play good music or play us or support us? Completely bullshit. As I said, the truth of the matter is, fans, and I'm talking directly to New York people right now, fans or music fans, the average New York listener, do not want to hear New York rap on their radio. If they did, or if they did, it would be on the radio. Period. They don't want to hear it really on the radio. They really don't want to hear it in the clubs. Music is just not regional anymore. The ones that do, and I know some people are listening to this like, yo, but this nigga Akademiks talking that bullshit. I want to hear it. Yeah, you and your 5 friends and your little brother. Nobody else. The average listener of rap does not care about hearing a bunch of niggas just rap with no melody, and I'll get into that a little bit later, and just spit bars after bars after bars. That's not fun to listen to. Most people don't listen to, ooh, that's a hot line. People listen music to have fun. That's the average listener. So, then the next thing that happens is people start blaming, you know why New York isn't on? It gotta be Ebro. If you don't know who Ebro is a program director of Hot 97. You might most currently know him now as the radio or the on-air radio personality that's on their morning show. His real job at Hot 97 is being a program director. Now, if you don't know what program director does, a program director is in charge of all radio shows on the station. So he's in charge of the morning show, he's in charge of the mix at noon if they still have it, the new at 2, all of that stuff. He's in charge of that stuff. He's in charge of making those shows work. He's in charge of putting the personnel on those shows. But not only that, he's also in charge of what also plays on the station. So for music-wise, he also is in charge of that arena as well. He has music directors that report to him, and they program the music that you hear on Hot 97. Now, I guess it's easy to say, well, if I'm not hearing what I want to hear on Hot 97 or Power 105, I'm going to blame the program director. I don't know who the program director is at Power 105 because that person isn't on the radio as a personality, but I know Ebro, so I'm going to blame Ebro. Absolutely false. This is like one of the worst things you should be doing, or one of the worst misconceptions. Ebro is a figurehead. And it's definitely no slight towards Ebro. I like Ebro as a personality, but Ebro is a figurehead. And I'll make this comparison. Some of you might think I'm crazy, but Ebro is like President Obama. Even though black people help elect President Obama, and now we think, oh, we got to end on the White House. President Obama's in there. He's going to be helping us out. So when he's in there, he's going to be looking out just for our interests. We seem to forget. And that's what the thing with rap fans and just niggas in general. You seem to forget that you're the minority. Obama's in the White House, but you're still the minority. He has to deal with the issues as he can't help every single person out, even though he would like to. Maybe he has some special interest that he would like to help you out with, but the majority of his job is to serve the majority of people. If he could pass a law or do something that would help 80% of people, he would do it rather than just focusing on the 14% of African Americans and just trying to please them and then displease the rest of the 85% of the country. So, back to Ebro now. Ebro's program director job, and being program director for Hot 97, New York is the biggest radio market in the United States. It's a corporate job. It's not a job where where you get props at the barber shop. It's a corporate job where you have to report to a $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company, and you have to report to them on how you're running that station. You're not reporting to them like, yeah, I held my niggas down, I'm playing some. That's not what's going on, and that's a misconception of just simple-minded Negroes. That's why I can't really talk music with a lot of you niggas. But what Ebro's job is at Hot 97, his job is to analyze statistics, analyze trends, predict trends, also analyze his demographics, and also try to maximize that audience who is listening to his radio station on a prime time hour basis. So from in the morning to midnight, he wants to make sure he gets the most people listening to his radio station. No, he doesn't want the nigga who's complaining on Twitter all the time, but then he'll tune in for like one day or so. He doesn't care about you. Let's be honest. The people who are really mad about this hip hop sound, you're not the majority. You're the minority. The majority of people who listen to radio, you want to know who those people are? Those people turn their radio on while they're going to the club. They turn it on while they're going to work. They turn it on while they're driving to the bank, while they're driving to the grocery store. And they want to just bump some good music. They want to hear whatever they are influenced by outside the radio. So everyone has Twitter. Everyone has any type of outlet that they could find out what they like. They have Pandora, Spotify. They're on YouTube. They're on social media talking to their friends. So if they want to hear Drake worst behavior, when they turn the radio on, that's what they want to hear. If they want to hear, I woke up in a new Bugatti, that's what they want to hear when they turn the radio on. No, they don't want a program director shoving new music in their face all day. If they've never heard of a Joey Badass 95 to Infinity, if they've never heard that before, or they don't like that outside of the radio, they don't want to be force-fed that through the radio. Maybe in the early 2000s when people had to listen to the radio, so even if they're playing a song you're not familiar with or a song you don't like, you're like, man, I don't really have much options. But now there's too much options. You know what? I'm in a car and I'm listening to the radio and they're playing something I don't like. I either switch the station or I put my iPod in. Or I might even switch over to Sirius Radio. I'm not going to be subjected to listen to what you want me to listen to anymore because I have way too much avenues. Music media is segmented. If you think about it, you have blogs, you have online radio shows, you have all type of online publications, you have podcasts people are doing. This is one of them. It all makes the music the music market or the avenues for an audience attention when it comes to music very segmented. So not one entity has too much control. It's really spread all over. So for example, Ebro now, as I said before, if you were listening, his job is really a political job. It's his job is a corporate job, and also it's a job that for him he needs to maximize an audience. So he's not doing it for props. He's doing it to maximize an audience. So for him, he won't take a risk on playing something new. Like, why would he play, I don't know, why would he play a random song from Action Bronze Suit in the midday when he knows, according to his statistics, there's mostly females listening. Do they want to hear an Action Bronson song in the middle of the day when it's mostly females listening? So no, he's not going to play it. You're taking a risk. You have numbers that tell you that, hey, you play this Drake song, Worst Behavior, or you play this Drake song, started from the bottom, 99% of the people are going to still listen to your station. You play this other song by Fred the Godson, half of the niggas are going to just turn their stations off. What are you going to, faced with that dilemma, being a sensible human being, what do? You're going to play the song that keep your listeners there. So, as I said, he's in a very tough position. He's going off trends. He has statistics for all these songs based on how much people listen to the station when certain songs are playing and how much people turn away when other songs are playing. So, he's making decisions based upon research. So, the other point of the coin, and I'll start taking up rappers now, right? Ebro, and I've heard other radio personalities or other radio heads, I'll call it, say, you know what? The reason why we're not playing New York rap is because New York rappers, they don't make good music. Absolutely not true. Come on now. Let's be honest. If anything, if you're a real, I won't say real hip-hop head because I really hate that term, but if you are someone who just want to hear people rapping, just rap-wise, bar for bar, I would definitely argue that New York rappers make some of the best music. They're some of the best rappers. However, the thing comes in, and this is the distinction here, is that they don't make some of the best songs. Yes, they don't make songs, they just rap. When I'm listening to most New York rappers, I'm hearing them rap endlessly about everything, and maybe I'm nodding my head a little bit. I got that little ugly look on my face like, okay. Yo, these bars are tight. But you know what? It's a time and place for everything. I don't want to hear that when I'm going to the club. I don't want to hear that in the club. I don't want to hear that in the morning. It's a time and a place for everything. My thing is, most New York rappers need to know it's a mix. I don't care how good you can rap. I really don't care. You could be the best rapper that's ever lived. If you can't turn your raps into a melodic song, I don't want to hear it. Absolutely do not want to hear it. You need to create a song that people can listen to and be like, this actually goes. Back in early 2000s, 50 Cent made it cool for New Yorkers to say, if you were singing on a record, so if you try to harmonize, you try to create any melody other than just rapping, you were selling out or you were whack, and it was just uncool. Pretty ironic, because that's exactly what 50 Cent ended up doing. But you know what? Even though 50 Cent, it worked for 50 Cent when he started really singing, Most rappers after that and most rappers before him weren't doing it. Jadakiss, Fabulous, like these are rappers, they're not really coming up with melodies, they're just really rapping. And in the 90s and early 2000s, the popular thing is just rap and then get an R&B chick on the hook and then that's your song. However, I haven't seen much R&B chicks coming out lately. Tell me the last one. I haven't seen a lot of R&B chicks coming out to do a hook like when we had Lil Mo and Fabulous doing Superwoman or whatever it was. I'm not seeing a bunch of that. So it's just rappers doing solo tracks and then they're not coming up with a melody for the hook. The hook is lame. It's something I can't really vibe to. And basically it's just a bunch of bars. You guys have to learn to make songs. If you look at Future, you look at all these ATL rappers, these down south rappers that, New York rappers are complaining about being on the radio. They might not be able to rap as good as you guys. I don't think most of these Atlanta rappers, and there's no slight towards them because I don't think that's even their intent. I don't think they intend on trying to just rap and spit the craziest bars. However, they know the most important thing in a song is the chorus. You hear the chorus like 3 or 4 times a song. You have to, the chorus plus the beat are something that continues throughout the song. And hopefully with the chorus and the beat, you need to add a couple of verses that have a message that people could actually vibe with. I woke up in a new Bugatti. It's catchy. You tell me that New York rappers can't come up with some catchy shit for some hooks. You can still rap. I'm not telling you don't rap. But what I'm telling you is that you need to come up with something that makes me, as a listener, and everyone else that listens to me and listens to music, everyone's going to be like, yeah, that's a song. I want to listen to a song, not a bunch of niggas rapping or showcasing that they can rap. If that's the case, my niggas, go do a BT cypher. Don't keep putting out this music and asking why it's not being played in the clubs and on the radio. I don't want to hear that unless I'm watching the BT cypher. That's it. So, pretty much, get some melody. It's definitely lacking in the music today. Get on the internet. Get support that way. The whole regional bullshit is done. Your region will support you after the internet. You start getting a little buzz on the internet. That's how it is now. Just remember, usually strangers will usually celebrate you before your friends. That's just how the nature of things usually are. People on the internet are willing and actually want to hear whatever music you, and even if you're a rapper saying, you know what, I don't want to make up no melodies, I don't want to be singing, I just want to spit bars. There's an avenue for that too. It's called underground, and you're gonna stay there. It'll never be mainstream for you not to make songs. But yeah, that's what it is. I hope you guys understand. I really hope you guys give me some feedback on this. As I said, I wasn't gonna do a whole vlog on this. The interesting thing about what Trinidad James said to Mano is that he said to Mano what Mano said himself. So to me, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. I don't want to hear about, let's think about the golden age of New York music. Remember when we had Dipset? Remember when we had G-Unit, the Locks? Miss me with that nostalgia bullshit. It's 2013 going into 2014. Let's go into the future. We still have New York artists that are really popping out here. Nicki Minaj is a New York artist. She's about to come out with an album. A$AP Rocky's doing his thing. And one of the new up-and-coming rappers who I think get it. What I'm saying, a lot of these New York rappers don't get it. They spit a bunch of bars with no melody. And when I said no melody, they might have somewhat of a melody, but not a melody that will really captivate an audience. But Troy Ave, I'm actually digging what he has put out thus far. He kind of reminds me of that 03 50 Cent. But he also gets that for people to really check your music out, you have to make songs. Make songs. Stop complaining. I would like for radio hosts, DJs, personalities, other ones, and even program directors, don't lie to the rappers saying they need to make better music. Tell them they need to make songs. They need to have hooks that are captivating. And that's it. So once again, it's your boy DJ Akademiks here. I want to make sure you guys are following me. I did a couple of interviews. I did an interview with 40 Glock. 40 Glock, he challenged a radio personality Star to a fight. He then also said Shine called the police on him. And in an upcoming part I'm going to put out pretty soon, he's talking about the game. So check that out. I also got an interview with dancehall, one of the popular dancehall entertainers right now, Mr. Vegas. And you know I'm Jamaican, so I was all over that. I went to the video shoot in New York. Mr. Vegas, Sean Paul, Fat Man Scoop. Shout out to everybody else that were there. So make sure you guys keep following me, keep supporting, and we're going to keep this moving. So once again, it's your boy DJ Akademiks. Turn up!